You never expect your own house to turn against you. When I first bought that new doorbell camera, I just wanted peace of mind to stop porch pirates and maybe catch the neighbor's dog that kept leaving surprises on my lawn. I didn't know one tiny lens would make me afraid of my own front door. I live outside Denver, in one of those quiet neighborhoods where every driveway looks the same and people wave even if they don't know you. The loudest thing at night is the wind or a passing train miles away. It's the kind of place where nothing bad happens until it does. The first week the camera worked fine, a few clips of raccoons, the mailman, my Amazon guy waving once. Then, one night around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed beside my bed. Motion detected front door. I almost ignored it, half asleep, but curiosity won. The video loaded grainy at first, then cleared. A tall figure stood across the street under the lamppost, not moving, just standing there, perfectly still, facing my house. I remember the way his head tilted slightly, like he was listening for something. I waited 30 seconds before he finally walked away, melting into the fog. I told myself it was nothing, maybe a drunk neighbor or late-night jogger. But when the same alert came at the same time the next night, my stomach dropped. I posted the clip in our neighborhood Facebook group. Nobody recognized him. A few people joked, maybe it's Slender Man. I laughed in the comments, but my hands were sweating. The man wasn't a shadow, he was real, and he knew exactly where to stand, so the light never hit his face. Night 3, 2:14 a.m. motion alert again. I opened the live view, expecting the same distant silhouette, but now he was on my walkway, half lit by the porch light, his head turned toward the camera like he knew I was watching. His mouth was moving, slow and deliberate, like he was whispering something to the lens. The feed had no sound. I leaned closer to the phone, trying to read his lips, when the screen froze and cut to black. Recording ended. I replayed the clip a dozen times. The man's lips formed the same shape again and again, 4 short words. I wrote them down on a sticky note. Let me back in. The words didn't make sense. Back in where? Who was he? The next morning I opened the camera app to show a friend. Every video before that night was gone. Only that one remained, labeled 2:14 a.m. I swear I didn't delete anything. I stared at the empty history tab until my reflection looked strange in the screen. I called the support line. The tech guys swore the system couldn't erase clips without a password or the QR code printed inside the camera. So unless someone was in your house scanning it, he said, you're good. That sentence kept replaying in my head. Unless someone was in your house. That night I triple-checked the locks and went to bed early. Around 1 a.m., soft knocking woke me 3 slow taps. Pause. 3 more. The kind of knock that sounds polite but wrong. I grabbed my phone, opened the live feed, nothing. Porch empty. But the knocking kept going, exactly 6 knocks apart. I crept to the door, heart hammering so hard it blurred the sound. I looked through the peephole, nobody there. I turned back toward the living room and froze. My TV, which I'd turned off hours earlier, was on. The screen showed the live feed from my doorbell camera. The porch still looked empty, but on the far right edge of the frame, a shadow moved. I took one cautious step closer to the TV. The feed flickered once, then zoomed slightly as if someone was adjusting the camera manually. My hands went cold. The camera was mounted outside. No one should be able to touch it. I ran to the door and yanked it open, hoping to scare off whoever was there. The porch was empty, just cold air and the smell of wet leaves. I stepped out, looked left, looked right. No one. Then my phone buzzed again. Motion detected living room. I froze in the doorway, phone shaking in my hand. Motion detected living room, but I was standing right there. The only movement was me. My eyes lifted toward the TV screen, still running the feed, and someone was on my sofa. My first thought was that the camera was lagging, showing an old clip. But then the figure on the screen slowly turned its head toward the camera, toward me, and the feed cut to black. I ran back inside and checked every room, every closet, even under the bed. Nothing. Doors still locked from the inside. Windows sealed. No sign of anyone. I checked the camera history again. A new clip had appeared, time-stamped just 1 minute ago. It was titled Inside. My fingers hesitated before tapping play. The video was from the doorbell camera's angle, but the lens was inside the house. It was facing my sofa, the same sofa where the figure had been sitting. The clip lasted 12 seconds. A blurry shape sat motionless for 10, then leaned forward until its face filled the frame. The eyes were white, like overexposed film, and then it smiled. I slammed the laptop shut so hard the screen flickered. I grabbed my car keys and left the house without looking back. I sat in my car on the street, engine off, just listening. The porch light flickered once, twice, then stayed dark. After 10 minutes, I called the non-emergency police line. The officer who answered sounded tired but concerned. He said they'd send a car to check the property and told me to wait in the vehicle. When the patrol car arrived, 2 officers walked up the driveway. They searched the yard, checked windows, knocked on the door. After 5 minutes, they waved me over. "House is clear, sir." Their flashlights swept through the front room like nothing ever happened. I walked in with them. Everything looked normal except for the TV. It was still on, but now the screen showed a frozen image of my own front door from the outside. One of the officers said quietly, "Maybe you left it on pause." I didn't argue. They filed a report, told me to call if anything else happened. When they left, I locked every door twice. I sat on the couch until morning light filled the room, trying not to blink. The next day, I decided to remove the camera entirely. I unscrewed it from the wall and set it on the kitchen counter. But when I walked back into the room 5 minutes later, it was gone. I searched everywhere, trash bin, drawer, even under the fridge. Nothing. Later that afternoon, my phone buzzed. Motion detected front door. The feed was live again. I opened the video and nearly dropped the phone. The camera was somehow remounted in the exact same spot, and this time the figure was back, closer than ever, eyes level with the lens. His mouth moved again, same 4 words, "Let me back in." Only now I could see his eyes clearly. They looked exactly like mine. I stumbled backward from the screen. The man outside, if it even was a man, looked identical to me. Same hairline, same jacket, same small scar above the lip. I turned the phone face down on the table, like that would erase what I'd seen. I ran to the bathroom mirror just to be sure I wasn't imagining it. My reflection stared back, normal, trembling. For a long second I thought I saw the mirror version smile a fraction later than I did. I shut the lights off and sat on the floor. Every few minutes my phone vibrated again. Motion detected living room. Each clip showed the same angle, but my body was in 2 places at once. In one clip I was sitting on the couch, staring blankly. In another, I was standing at the window. Both happened at the same timestamp. The doorbell cam was recording a version of me that didn't exist. I called my friend Mark, who lived 2 streets over. I tried to explain, but he just said, "Man, it's probably a software glitch." He offered to come over and check. I almost said yes, until my phone buzzed again. Motion detected driveway. I opened the feed and saw Mark's car pulling up. Then I saw my copy walk out of the house to greet him. I screamed through the door, but they couldn't hear me. On screen, the other me reached for Mark's shoulder. The clip cut out mid-frame. I bolted outside, shouting his name. His car sat idling, driver's door open, headlights washing the street. No one inside, no one anywhere. My phone buzzed once more. New video saved inside mark.mp4. I couldn't breathe. The clip showed the living room again. My copy, whatever it was, stood in front of the couch holding Mark's car keys. Then it turned, stared straight into the camera, and whispered the same words, "Let me back in." I threw the phone across the room and ran outside. The house looked normal, quiet, harmless, but every window reflected a slightly different pose of me looking out. I left that night and never went back. I moved into an apartment downtown. No smart devices, no cameras, just locks and curtains. For a while, it felt like freedom. 2 weeks later, I got an email from the doorbell company. "Your device has been reactivated." The location listed wasn't my old address. It was my new one. I deleted the message immediately, unplugged my Wi-Fi, and turned off my phone. The room went silent. Then someone knocked. 3 slow taps. Pause. 3 more. I checked the peephole. The hall was empty, except for a small box sitting neatly on the floor. The label read, "Replacement doorbell camera delivered." I haven't opened it, and if you ever see your doorbell blink twice on its own, don't look. If that happened to you, would you ever install another camera? Comment "I'd look" or "I'd run" below. Subscribe for more true horror stories every night.